You're in a service-driven organization, and we all really face very similar challenges. So I guarantee you that you're going to get something out of this that you can take back to the ranch and apply straight away. You have a ranch, don't you? So let's pivot to our panelists first. So on the far right over there, we have Andrew Jayatilake, as he's known to his parents only, AJ to the rest of us. So AJ is the digital director at Macquarie University, which is rated as one of the top 1% of universities worldwide, serving 44,000 customers who are students globally. Then we have Tracie Mohr, who is manager of student experience. She's from the University of the Sunshine Coast. Really 28 years young university. It's ranked as the second ranked public university in Australia, and also one of the fastest growing. And over here, Adam, oh, I like that, Ed. Just keep doing the yips. Here we have Adam Taylor. He's the head of digital creative, and he's at the University of Newcastle, which is amongst the top 200 universities worldwide, and serving, again, a large number of student customers, 37,000, I believe. I do check my facts. Oh, yeah, there you go. So this is how we're going to run the panel really quickly. I'm going to dive into a key project that each of them have embarked on recently, and then we'll do a lightning round robin of questions where we kind of get to understand what they've learned over their extensive careers and what they think 2023 will look like for us. So, ready? So, AJ. So, AJ, just a quick introduction to AJ. He's the kind of person that my parents wish I grew up to be. So he finished his MBA at London Business School, and then he started his career on the other side of the fence, consulting actually at the likes of Capgemini. Then he moved in-house, leading digital growth initiatives at the BBC and then Telstra, and then he moved to Macquarie University in 2018, and here we are. So can you tell us a little bit about your role as digital director?
Yeah, sure. So digital bleeds into different things in different organisations. At our organisation, for us, digital is our website, so mq.edu.au, all our one-to-one communications, marketing automation, and any of the beautiful digital advertising that you see on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or search, that's us as well.
So I do know that we saw actually a screen of GEM, which is your Global Experience Macquarie design system. Now that's really extensive. It's a complex beast that you've been working on for more than a year, more than a couple of years. You're about to roll that out and launch that. Tell us why that was so valuable to Macquarie and to your students.
Yeah, sure. So we complete our GEM rollout mid next year. So we started it about 3 years ago when we developed it, and it was important because we had so many different user experiences. So we had blue buttons, white buttons, red buttons, buttons that didn't look like buttons. So for a user who came onto our website, it was really hard to know what do you want to do? What do you want me to do? And so it did one thing for our users. It made it really simple for you to understand what it is that you wanted to do. Do what it says on the tin. And then for our engineering side, it made our system scalable and robust. So devs can write in the same way that designers can write. There are many different ways to code a component. And so we did have a whole bunch of spaghetti code throughout the site. And so what the design system does, it does those two things. For the user, super clear on what you want me to do, and then some robustness on the engineering side.
So 2.5 years in, how has it gone? How has it gone for you and the team and the students?
Yeah, it's gone well. It's variable, right? There are some things that go really well. We kind of gloss over the things that don't go well. There's some things that are really hard. And if you're at a university or you're a government service, they're all big institutions. Some things go better than others, but we measure. And before we started our journey, our NPS score was -9. So more people did not like us than liked us. And now we are at closer to +30, depending on which element of the site, either our hospital side or our product site. So to kind of achieve that over that period, we're really proud of it. And every time we release a component of GEM, the scores on the doors go up. So we've got one more to go. That's the bit that we have to go. Also, for our team, it makes a massive difference. We have a great team they're over there in the back corner. So make sure you say hello to them when they're lurking over there. And
Definitely. Raise your hand table. You want to see the rock stars. There you go.
And what it does for them is they can have really mature conversations with our staff. Everyone's a marketer. Everyone knows how to build a website. Everyone wants the button to be blue and over there. But what it does, it gives them a really kind of great toolkit to have a really mature conversation with a user who has a problem that we're trying to solve for them. So
and I think that's really great because normally design systems, people don't think about how that impacts the NPS score. So I think this is really unique what you've done and how you've been able to measure that. Now, obviously, any project has learnings. So if you were to go back and do this again, what would you do the same way and what would you do differently?
So what I would do the same is not build a lot of bespoke. So what you see on that slide is those are the components. And there are so many different businesses that we run within our business. So and I think everyone in the audience is the same. So we run our website, prospective students in. We also have a hospital, we have gym, we have cafes and restaurants, we have a massive research community, but we haven't built different things for them. We've built, here are your 40 components, and we'll click different kind of Lego blocks depending on what your need is. And we haven't created a lot of variability because then that creates more code, more development overhead. So I would maintain the rage when it comes to the number of components that you build. That's what I would do again.
Fantastic. So, and I'll move you to Tracie, the rose amongst the thorns there. Really nice thorns, I have to say. So, Tracie is Manager of Student Experience at Uni SC, as we'll call it. Now, she has an extensive experience in financial services and higher education, and you joined Uni SC 8 years ago. First in the Student Central team, and today you lead the Student Experience team. So there's no doubt that you love the customer experience. And just a quick tip or fact, actually, I found out that you're a bit of a serial entrepreneur. Started a few businesses on the side over the years. So if any of you has a side hustle that you're looking forward to getting some advice on, there she is. So, Tracie, please tell us a little bit about your role at Uni SC.
So I'm the manager of student experience, and that means I have all the student centres reporting into me. So they're doing our future student and current student inquiries across all channels. And I also manage our business improvement team, which is the good stuff. So we're doing some student systems and projects, process improvements, etc. So that's the good bit where I got to do the portal.
Good bit. Okay, you're going to keep the bad bits out?
Yeah.
All right, deal. So we do know, as you've seen earlier when Anthony was presenting, talked about your project that you have recently launched. This is one of those things, one of those projects that kind of remains talked about in hushed tones, in dark corridors, the student portal project, because it's so hard. So tell us a little bit about why that was important for Uni SC and how was that journey like for you?
Well, it was fast. It was fast and furious, and that was the good thing about it. I think I probably wouldn't have coped with 2.5 years. We have, like all unis, too many systems for students to navigate, and we needed to do something about that. Hopefully there's no one from our IT team here or watching online, but bless them, they tried to build a portal app a few years ago for us just pre-COVID, and pretty much, funnily enough, tried to replicate the TransLink app, and it wasn't really useful. They didn't talk to anyone, and they just decided to do that. We found out about it, and thankfully the project halted there. And then come COVID, obviously everything changed. Our digital experience for students was really under the spotlight at that point, and it became obvious that we needed to do something. And this time we decided to work with someone that knew what they were doing. So we worked with Squiz, which was good. And the most important thing of that was actually just talking to students, because our IT team decided they knew what was needed. I'd argue they didn't. And the consultation we did with students proved that they didn't. So we did that, did a lot of student consultation before we even decided on the MVP that we went with, and rolled it out very quickly.
Very quickly, 4 months, wasn't it?
Yeah, something around there.
That period of your life just flashed before your eyes.
Yeah.
So
it's called the portal haze.
The portal haze. Now,
My team
there's a
referred to
term
it
for you
as,
guys
yeah.
to take back. So the ability to integrate like the spaghetti of systems and data and content, that was a really big deal for you.
Yeah.
Tell us why that was a game changer.
Well, funnily enough, earlier when it was said that integrations can just happen, that has not been my experience at the uni, and they seem to take a lot more work than expected. But the most, I guess we had a choice. We have a lot of systems, as I said. We could have just maybe slapped a login screen on the front end and hoped that they'd use that, but obviously I don't think that would have added any value. So we've brought a lot of integration into the portal. I'm not a technical person. I have no idea how difficult integrations are. I now understand that they're more difficult than I realised. And so when I just said, let's integrate everything and put it on the front page, and everyone went white, now I know why. But we brought a calendar in, which was really good. So again, like most unis, you've got a class timetable that sits on one, like on your student management system. We had an exam timetable. We had course due dates, assignment due dates on another system. We've got appointments and workshops on another system. So we've brought those into one calendar for students, and I think that's been probably the most, the biggest ticket item, certainly. And then the other thing that I think has been really good is using Funnelback. So that enterprise search has just been a godsend, and frankly the staff are using it probably as much as the students, because our corporate website is, again, hope no one's watching, but frankly a nightmare to navigate as well. So using Funnelback for searching across our FAQs, our portal content, our corporate website has just been amazing.
That's amazing. And we can't wait to get to that site soon.
Yeah. Good luck.
So how has it gone so far? How has the student portal project gone?
It works. It's not broken.
Yes.
Yeah.
Time stamped, 8th of November 2022.
Yeah, no, it's going really well. We did a very soft launch. I'm a big believer in under-promising and over-delivering, so I really didn't even want to tell anyone. So we went very quietly live. And we got a really good uptake, despite the fact that we weren't really promoting it to anyone. But yeah, working really well. Inbound inquiries have somewhat reduced. I don't know if it's all due to the portal, but I'd like to think that students are able to find things that they need easier than they could before.
I think we'll take
I think we can count it.
I think we can.
Yeah.
So what, again, same question. What would you do the same? What would you have done differently with hindsight?
The same, I would do an MVP again like we've done. So we've built a few good things. We've got a long list of things we'd like to think about down the track, but I think doing something small and seeing how our students use it and what we need to do next, I would definitely do that again. And what I'd do differently is, the thing I didn't mention was that we actually had changed our LMS sort of 6 to 12 months prior. And I would never, ever, ever roll out one system, new system on the back of another major system, because there was a fair amount of fatigue amongst staff having to navigate a new system. We were so excited with the portal. We've got this great shiny new system and all our academics can use it to talk to their students. And it was crickets from some areas. So yeah, it was just like...
And you thought you had communicated?
Well, we had. I mean, yes. But I don't think you can do enough.
That's right.
Yeah, you just got to keep talking to them, and just because you show them and invite them and try and drag them along on the journey, they don't all come with you.
Yeah, I think we've all learned from that before.
Yeah.
I think that's good advice. So, Adam.
Mei.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
I'm very good now. So Adam is head of digital creative at University of Newcastle. And Adam, you have really come full circle. You studied design at the University of Newcastle.
I did indeed.
And now you lead kind of digital creative and design at the University of Newcastle.
I do indeed.
So when your parents asked you, son, what do you want to do when you grow up and where do you want to study, you weren't kidding like the rest of us.
Well, I wanted to play cricket for Australia, but I ended up
All right.
working at the
Missed
University
that
of
one
Newcastle.
on my
Yeah.
research.
Yeah.
Sorry. But you are creative at heart. You're also a musician. You love building beautiful customer experiences, love collaborating with people in a room. So anyone out there as well who wants to collaborate and throw some ideas around with the creative over here, I do hear he loves his craft beers, maybe?
Oh, been known to dabble.
Oh, been known to dabble. Well, if you need a hint on how to get his attention later during drinks, we see you, Juan. So, Adam, tell us a little bit about your role as head of digital creative.
My role is, is to be as creative and as crazy as possible under the guise of strategy.
I love that.
So, I have to be strategic as I can, but I like to come up with really sort of far out ideas, bring it all back in and sort of wrap it all up, and I've got an amazing team that just makes stuff happen. And you sort of go, wow, that's kind of what I thought it would look like. But under the guise of strategy.
I love it. Ruby, we're going to have to talk to you later to see if that's true. That's one of his team over there. So now I do know that there's this kind of DNA of user experiences at the University of Newcastle and how you do your work. And it's not just the student experience, but, staff and alumni and the community that you operate in. And when you look at the University of Newcastle website, you can almost feel the city, as you can see there, coming off through every page. Why is that such a strong DNA? How does that make a difference to you?
Well, I think at the moment, especially for us, that we're trying to really change that mindset around our potential students aren't potential students, they're potential customers. And, you really want any customer, doesn't matter whether you're selling, hankies or whatever, you really want them to be immersed in your product, and so we've got a really, really, really unique product in Newcastle. We've got a beach culture. We're a dynamic, transforming city that used to be, a blue collar BHP working town. We're now a tech hub, but also, those students that used to be waiting at the front gate of the university aren't there anymore. Yep. We've really got to fight hard. The whole sector's down in domestic undergraduate positions. So we really want to give them a sense of community, a sense of inclusiveness. And we're a really cool city. We've got...
Darn right, look at that. Yeah.
And, we made Silverchair, so, I think that's pretty cool. And, who doesn't want to study, like, for instance, we have a campus, that beach shop, that's Newcastle Beach. Our campus, our city campus is like less than 5-minute walk from that.
Do people turn up to class?
Well, in our new space campus in Hunter Street, like we've got surfboard racks and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
So you can go for a surf
Get
dream.
the bikes. So, so assuming you've attracted them to this great lifestyle, great community feel, you then want to make sure that they make the right decision, which is, what course do I decide to study? So you've been working on something pretty cool. How do you make that easier?
Well, we wanted to, you want to give every customer choice, so, and you want to give them the best possible experience to be able to make a really informed choice. And, choosing a degree is a really, really important thing. It's like choosing a home loan, it's like choosing a mobile phone plan, it's really confusing. So we wanted to be able to also give our customers the best possible decision-making process, but also engage, their family. We also get a value exchange of a relationship with them with an email address or with a first name, last name, whatever. So we built a comparison tool, like a degree comparison tool where we took a few ideas from the commerce market where you can select a whole heap of different degrees, the stuff that you might be interested in, and it basically gives you just sort of, as you can see here, is just sort of snackable bite-sized pieces of content about each degree. You can load as many as you like. It'll remember each of your selections each time you come back. But what you can also do is, like, to get that real essence of being immersed in Newcastle, is if you put your first name, last name in there, we get a little bit of data. We start that relationship so we can then start making informed relationships and conversations. So you get a nice little degree guide as well, which gives you that. Hopefully this works. Yes.
It did. I tested it.
So, and it's completely personalised, you know. So you get that. You get taking that digital first approach to our publication suite. So that's also my other family that I have at work, my creative team. And then, you know, merging the two teams or crossing the streams as you do in Ghostbusters and creating something like this. But at the end of the day, it's all about the customer. And this thing, like, especially for our international agents, has gone crazy. Like, the numbers are quite extraordinary. So it's been pretty cool.
Well, this sounds as though it was a breeze. Surely there was something you learnt about what you would do again and what you wouldn't do again.
What I would do again is continue that deep conversation with our customers. What I'd also do again is probably think about ways at which we could potentially do that better, ways at which we could essentially release it in a more timely fashion, but I think also what I'd really like to do again. I know we did spend some time, but was also extending that relationship to the Squiz team. For them we see the Squiz team. We've got Juan and Anthony, and their respective teams. That they're an extension of our team, and like to obviously basically continue that relationship as well.
Oh, that's great. And we talked about this before, but do you find that sometimes there is a fear of outsourcing or working with an external partner?
I think initially when I joined the team, yes, but sort of being a creative at heart, like the best creativity, like we could imagine all of us we could come up with something pretty cool together, as opposed to just me thinking it.
Yeah.
You know, I've spent 25 years of my life locked in band rooms, and you know, the best music you write or whatever you do is with your friends and colleagues. You know, so extending that team ethos to the Squiz team and it's also allows people like Ruby and myself to you learn new stuff with, you know, working with other people who are way more experienced and better at what we do. Yeah. You know, so having that collaboration is really, really important, and it's something that I'm really proud of, because that dialogue wasn't open when I first started, and it's something that I really, really wanted to continue to work towards.
Wow. Everyone's getting really comfortable, aren't you? We're being lulled into relaxation, but now it's lightning round. So, I will start off with AJ. So, you've talked about what you've worked on so far. What's next for the team?
Right. So we finish our general ad in the middle of next year. So we get capacity into the team. So for us, it's kind of, what next is that personalisation piece. How do we? And if you ask the three of us what personalisation meant, you get three different answers. So to be honest, we've got to figure it out for ourselves. We've got to understand, what does personalisation mean for us, for our customers, what's going to be useful for them as opposed to useful for us, and then work to not just the technology. So, you know, we're looking forward to the roadmap and that coming to life, but we have to think about our organisational structure. Are we fit for purpose for when that tech rolls in? So that's probably a bit of introspection that we have to do over the next piece, and also integration is a big part. A bit like Tasha's point, we are very siloed in terms of different products with very specific purposes, but tying that together in a beautiful experience for a user is difficult. So that's what's next for us as well.
So you talked about personalization. Tracie, is personalization one of the things that's next as well?
Yep, for sure. So we're rolling out.
What does it mean for you? Yeah.
We're just going live maybe today. Yes, we've gone live today.
There's an announcement for you.
So personalised notices for students, that'll be helpful. Personalised news items and starting to understand, again, how they're using it, what comes next, a lot more consultation with students before we go too much further. And then a little bit the same as what AJ was saying as well. As a university, more automation, better access to data, more and automation, big.
And the reason why you talk about personalization as the next step, just jumping a little bit here, is it important that you kind of started with phase 1 MVP of the portal before you move to personalization versus taking it all on?
Yeah, we built it from the start knowing that we wanted to go down that path, so bringing in all the attributes that we knew about students so that we could do that, but we definitely weren't ready to roll that out when we went live. That was definitely something to park. So we started with that in mind, but we wanted to get there first, and we're taking very small steps.
Nice. Adam, what's next for Team Creative?
What's next? Look, I think for us, it's continuing that conversation. We're getting to know who our customers are, with degree comparison tools and, starting that conversation, but also extending that conversation depending on where our customers are coming from. So if they're coming from campaign stuff, having some kind of bot or something that they can interact with. Squiz product team, if that's on your roadmap, that'd be nice to have.
Julie. There you go. She's listening. She's waving.
And just deepening those relationships. We've dabbled in personalisation, obviously, with the tool. We personalised. We'll surface previously browsed, degrees and products and stuff for second, third, fourth time visitors. But just, I think, enhancing that relationship and getting to know our customers at a more granular level.
Nice. Second question then. So there's a lot of cumulative digital experience here in this career of panelists. What is the biggest trade-off or myth that you've found about making digital experiences work in the real world? I'll start with you maybe, Adam. I'll shake things up a little bit.
Biggest myth, I think the last 2 years we've learnt a lot. Biggest myth is to create, what we've found, to create really, really beautiful experiences. We don't have to push our team to the edge of sanity, having that serendipitous moment of creativity we've been robbed of that the last couple of years. But I think there still are ways of which that you can have a rich team experience. Personally, as a leader, watching the team create and produce awesome products is amazing. But I think what I've learned is that you don't really need to push them, because we've got partners like Squiz that we can speak to, Juan and his team and Anthony and his team, that can help us along the way. We did it open day. We've all had to do virtual open days the last couple of years. We built an open day online microsite for 2020, which won an international case award. We got a bronze medal for that.
Oh, nice.
And we did it all with partnering with Squiz. So the last couple of years, that's probably what I've learned the most is get help.
Get help. That's the tagline if you ever got one. And what about you, Tracie? What's your biggest myth or trade-off that you found?
Well, the myth that got busted for me this year was that integration was easy, because apparently it wasn't. But also I think it would appear that no matter how good it is, there will still be someone that will ring and say, did you mean to send that to me? Or even though it has my name on it. So I think having that multi-channel approach, particularly for students, is really important because, different people will use things differently, and no matter what we do in the portal as such, we'll still rely on other channels as well. So that's, not a one-stop shop necessarily.
One-stop shop. All channels are open, always.
Very much open.
And AJ, what's your big myth?
I think for me, so our mantra is certainly evolution, not revolution, and the myth that on, the 22nd of December, this beautiful new system will be unveiled and the world will be better. I just don't think that exists. So what we've certainly done, and I think Gav mentioned it earlier on, that kind of big bang deployment is so fraught with risk. And you have to have got it absolutely right, and it's hard to do. So that evolution of deploy something, get really robust customer feedback. Is it working? Is it not? And then evolves, and it works better for two things. It works better for customers, but also works better for the organisation as well, because you're taking a really huge bet on something being right. So for your stakeholders, once you've got a few wins under your belt, you get more trust and more credibility, and then you kind of get your ticket to play into more impactful things as well.
I'm going to take that advice. Gav, phase 1 is just phase 1 for lots of things I do. Learning. So, lightning round, final question. Brace yourself. So, what's going to be the game changer in 2023? It could be for your team, it could be for industry, or what do you think, AJ?
It's probably a lot there, but I'll stick with one. I'm a marketer, and for us in 2023, with the kind of the crumbling of cookies, it is so different to how you market. In university land, we're so used to getting a 3 or a 6 month cookie so you can track someone over a long period of time and show them different content, I'm sure different ads. You just can't do that now. So Safari's already gone, Chrome goes next year. And Facebook changed their rules over the last year, and we've already seen a massive difference in the attribution that we would have seen from Facebook last year compared to this year. And that's just one channel. So for us as marketers, it's going to be very different to how we marketed in the last five or so years. So that's probably something that's top of mind from us as we think through revenue.
That's great. And Tracie, 2023.
Well, thankfully I don't need to get them in the door. I'm not in marketing. But for the sector as a whole, I think the Job Ready Graduate Package is definitely going to affect us all. We're going to need to do better in terms of supporting the students that we have and retaining them. And I think that will come down to not only the digital experience that they're having, but also what we can do with the data that we have to be presenting them with support options much earlier on in the piece. Unis have traditionally waited until people failed before reaching out to them or slapping them over the wrist or whatever, and that will not float the boat. So that will be a big focus for us, and I think for everyone next year.
That's an important one. And Adam?
I think for us is just maintaining that relationship, really focusing on our unique geography, creating that really safe, inclusive environment, because we do know our potential customers, whether they're in grade 10, 11, 12, they've had a pretty traumatic couple of years. Yeah. And we just want to make sure that whether it's a physical experience or their inquiring, deciding experience is just the safest, coolest, most interactive and inclusive experience we can give them, because the industry's changing, looking at students as customers, I've said it earlier, really trying to improve the way that we look at our customers and really forge a meaningful relationship with them. Even if they don't enrol, they might come back. We'll
That's right.
remember them,
That's
and
right.
we can continue that conversation.
That's right. Well, I feel as though my digital IQ just went up about 20 points. So, and for all my smart aleck colleagues, no jokes on that. Thank you very much. So, anyway, you shared so much today. Very different journeys on very different projects, but I said I would guarantee some learnings, and I think all of us got something out of this, really. So thank you.
We might have about 5 minutes.
I know. So we will get there. But just want to recap for the crew first. Key things that will kind of be a game changer in 2023. You mentioned integration, so connecting data and content silos, automating manual work, personalization in all its different forms, really using data in a world where there's in a cookieless world, and also having the flexibility to leverage your existing, whatever tech stack you're using, whatever digital ecosystem you're using, and move at your own pace. And the other core themes that I think we've heard today is, the customers have more choice than ever, whether they're students or whether they're any of your customers, and really a seamless multi-channel experience is a way to kind of connect hearts and minds as a brand, and we need to start with our existing customers first. You don't have to go it alone. We are all facing like a tech talent drain at the moment. Reach out, work with a partner that you trust as an extension of your team, and it not just helps you get it done faster, but also could actually expand your team's own skill set, which is going to be key to retain staff as well. Change fatigue is real. Over-communicate, even when you think it's enough. Lesson to self for myself. And also in reality, success in digital comes through evolution, not revolution. Don't eat the elephant. Think about how you bite things up into small sizes, do things progressively, learn as you go, keep talking to your customers, and then optimize as you go. So this has been great. Thank you so much.